I am Benjan N. Caballero from Lala National High School, and I am going to present to you my action research entitled Blended Lesson Menus and Choice Boards, an intervention to improve students' study habits and academic performance. Teaching children to become effective thinkers is increasingly recognized as an immediate goal of education. If students are to function successfully in a highly technological society, they must be equipped with lifelong learning and study habits skills necessary to acquire and process information in an ever-changing world amidst a pandemic period. As a matter of fact, before the rising of COVID-19 pandemic, both the teachers and learners are already using the internet, computer and other technologies to produce a better outcome and to achieve quality education. But the difference lies between having a face-to-face classes and the new normal classes, which are done virtually. In order to keep education running, educational institutions have had to quickly adapt to the situation. This has resulted in the creation of different modalities suited to the different kinds of learners in the different places all over the Philippines. One of these is the online learning. In the same vein, blended lesson menus and choice boards approach during remote or distant learning is a process of growth and development through self-activity or experience. Learning can be analyzed into active process in developing online learning skills that will promote a rewarding learning experience. Importantly, staying motivated in the class is a challenge for students studying independently and who may never actually see their teacher or classmates face-to-face. Developing a personal motivation strategy can be a great asset to the online learning experience and can keep students from losing interest or burning out. Another technique that a successful blended online class in this study agree on the importance of making a connection with fellow students. Research questions. This study sought to investigate the study habits and academic performance of grade 10 special science class students in Lala National High School of contemporary issues after exposing them to blended lesson menus and choice boards approach in second quarter of school year 2020-2021. Specifically, the study will seek to answer the following question. What are the levels of students' study habits before and after exposing to blended lesson menus and choice boards approach? Number 2, is there a significant difference between pre-test and post-test result of the students in blended learning menus and choice boards approach? Research participants. The participants of the study involves 30 grade 10 SSA section of junior high school students currently enrolled in Lala National High School, school year 2020-2021, in this new normal learning condition. Research methods. A. Research design. The present study used experimental design. It aimed to determine the relationship on the use of blended lesson menus and choice boards and students who were exposed to the learning strategy in terms of study habits and their academic performance. B. Sampling. Purposive sampling was used during the data gathering. Pilot testing of the research instrument will be used to obtain reliability for the test. Ethical consideration. Aside from the approval of the division office and to the school principal, all data was treated and protected with interest the confidentiality and anonymity of the participants involved in this study. The identity of the participants remains confidential. Their identities were disclosed in publication based on the study. The last but not the least, parents' consent will also be used in this study to ensure that parents are informed and in control of their child's information. Data analysis plan. The researcher sought first the approval of the school principal. Upon the approval, the researcher then presented the permit to the class advisor in conducting the study. 1 month prior to the actual study, It is devoted for the preparation, construction, and validation of the modified blended learning menus and choice boards. Pilot testing of the pre-test questions and other instrument was strictly observed for validity and reliability. Lastly, survey on study habit was adopted from the National Institution for Youth Education 2020. The questionnaires consist of a series of Likert-type questions in order to utilize the findings of newest study habits of the students from the survey in the new normal learning education. Results and discussion. The arrangement of each section of this part was based on the sequence of answering the statement of blended lesson menus and choice boards serves as an intervention to improve students' academic performance and study habits on this study. Problem number 1. What are the levels of student study habits before and after exposing to blended lesson menus and choice boards approach? As depicted in Table 1, the results of student study habits before exposing to blended lesson menus and choice boards approach have grand mean of 3.0125 with a verbal interpretation of poor study habits. This means that it is necessary to improve their motivation to study in most of the time in this pandemic period. On the other hand, Table 2 shows the results of the self-rating of 30 students on study habits after exposing to blended lesson learning menus and choice boards approach. All aspects of study habits have a grand mean, which have a very good verbal interpretation. This would then imply that the students develop time management strategy, making the most of online discussions wherein learning takes place on using asynchronous discussions and other means of communication available to the online learners of after exposing them to the same blended learning menus approach. In this pandemic period, the teacher finds it easy to deliver the instruction to the learners on how to study effectively and answers the summative assessment and perform the task successfully would surely result in higher achievement gain than in self-learning module, wherein the teacher cannot give the 100% assurance if the students fully understand the context of the learning module. Students with very good study habits have higher motivation to study, as it revealed in Table 1. I feel motivated to wake up early in the morning due to our blended lesson approach. Then it follows that the higher the motivation to study, the higher the study habits. This implies that students' level of motivation to study goes hand in hand with their study habits. When these affective dimensions are improved, students are expected to get better achievements gained. As Garingo et al. 2004 pointed out that study habits have a great and vital role in achieving good academic performance. Moreover, Roper 2006 emphasized that teachers are advised to consider developing personal techniques for staying engaged and creating a self-motivation plan that can be used to incorporate the development of effective e-learning study skills. Lastly, Watkins 2004 claimed that study skills have direct bearing for improving the capacity of learners to successfully make the transition from the traditional to the blended lesson menus approach. Students who have good study habits overachieve in the academic subjects. Problem number 2. Is there a significant difference between the students' study habits and academic performance before and after exposing to blended lesson menus and choice boards approach? Table 3 shows the p-value of 0.00 indicates that there is a significant difference in the students' study habits before and after the intervention of blended lesson menus and choice boards approach. Again, this might be due to the several techniques that a student can use to develop blended learning skills that will promote a rewarding learning experience. Developing a time management strategy is one of the most important techniques for managing the course requirements as an independent learner. Developing techniques to make the most of online discussions will add to a student's learning experience and promote success in the blended lesson menus. The ability to apply concepts from the blended lesson menus and choice boards approach implies that the student's level of study habits is improved. Students are expected to get better achievement gains. Table 4 shows the significant difference between pre-test and post-test result of the students in blended lesson menus and choice boards approach. As shown in Table 3, the p-value of 0.00 indicates that there is a significant difference in the pre-test and post-test results of blended lesson menus and choice boards approach. This finding implies that students in using the blended lesson menus and choice boards had a better learning outcomes in post-test. This result agreed with Graham, 2006, who cited that blended lesson menus are intended to promote learning by facilitating the integration of visual cues and educational concepts. The use of virtual environments acts to capture the attention of the students involved while augmenting. Recommendations. Based on the findings and conclusions, the following recommendations are presented. Students will greatly benefit from using the blended lesson menus and choice boards approach since they would be free to choose different ways on how to learn a particular concept. They would be comfortable in their given task since they will be able to choose which activity they should tackle first, be able to master the said task and move to another assigned task in the choice board. For teachers, all teachers, not only those teaching Araling Panlipunan subjects, are enjoined to use the blended lesson menus and the choice board approach because they can easily be adapted to all grade levels and contents. Teachers can focus on the specific needs of the students. This will help teachers to easily support students at their level of learning, whatever different level they may be in. School heads. It is vital that the principal school head should support teachers' initiative in presenting his or her lesson in which he deems fit would benefit the students. It is no secret that teachers feel empowered when they know that their principal is with them and behind them in their endeavor to make blended learning a success. A staff of empowered and motivated teachers can change the outcome of students' learning. Education Program Supervisors. Education Program Supervisors may utilize this study as a springboard in the development of their programs and acclimatize to this strategy for the advancement of the higher academic prospects in the respective areas. Stakeholders. Stakeholders should provide support and encouragement to the teachers as well as the students. They should also partake and proactively discuss and find solutions on the challenges and obstacles of the new blended learning. Future researchers. Similar studies may undertake, considering other variables that may influence students' academic performance. They are welcome to add, scrutinize, and improve this action research as it would greatly benefit not only the teacher and learners, but the entire education system. They can also use as a reference this humble endeavor undertaken by this researcher. Thank you and keep safe.